supporting you in your dog parenting journey. The Dynamic Dog Owner with Debbie Potter.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of The Dynamic Dog Owner, the podcast designed to support you, the dog parent, in your dog parenting journey. We talk about all things dog designed to help you. Your dog parenting is a big minefield. There's so many decisions to make, things to consider, knowing whether you're doing the right thing or the wrong thing. There's so many human emotions involved in caring for a dog, overcoming problems and challenges, and that's why we focus on the humans, how we feel and the considerations we need to make. If you want direct training, advice and exercises, check out the Potterpaw Academy, our online hub. So last week, I'm going to tell you about an outing we went on. Last week, our club members, so these are people who train with us every single week for as long as they wish to, we had our first member day out. It was amazing. So we went to Cotswold Wildlife Park, which if you are sort of south of England, you will have probably heard of. It's in the Cotswolds near Oxford, and it's a park, so a wildlife park with loads of animals, and they are dog friendly. They're the only one I know of. There are not many places that are wildlife that allow dogs in, and it is so amazing that Cotswold do, because it is a fab day out. So we had a group of our members join us for the day. And one of the topics, firstly, let me say, all the dogs were absolutely epic. Considering none of them had been to a wildlife park before, none of them had seen a rhino, camels, lions, giraffes, monkeys, penguins, and lots of small like mongooses and emus, giant turtles. They hadn't seen any of that before. They all walked around the park, took every single element in their stride, and were just epic. I don't think anyone was freaked out. Nobody was worried about any of the animals. Everyone was absolutely amazing. Now, I can guarantee you, not everyone was looking forward to the trip, because naturally, we worry. When we take our dogs in public, we worry about how they're going to behave. We worry about how they're going to act, whether they're going to cope with it, whether it's going to be embarrassing. And it is so easy to just go, I'm not going to go. I'm not going to take them. I'll leave them at home, or I'll skip it maybe next time. Hands up if you have done that with your own dog. Seen a day out, seen an opportunity and gone, no, I'll leave them at home. I know I have. Absolutely, I know I have. And it's not as uncommon as you think. One of the biggest things we have to do when it comes to training our dogs is step out of our own comfort zone. And that is so hard. I know it is. I find it with one of my own dogs, and I'll kind of come on to him in a minute. But I know a lot of our owners, our members, were like, oh, I don't think my dog's ready for it. We know if they are or not. We think they're going to be. Sometimes it's so hard to step out of that comfort zone. And that is where I know some of the people who came on the trip were like, oh, this is going to be fun, and were pleasantly surprised that their dogs were amazing and coped with it. This is where, for me, having a training community, which is obviously what we offer, is so valuable, because you've got a team of people who are all there to support each other. You could go to Cotswold Wildlife Park by yourself, but I can guarantee majority of people wouldn't, because what if? Whereas going as part of a community, you've got that support network. You've got someone there to help and support you, and that is so important. Your safety in numbers. And really, really good for everyone to step out of their comfort zone, to overcome that fear and that anxiety. We had it recently on one of our group walks. Someone said, I thought this was going to go wrong. I was ready to turn around and go home. No, you don't need to do that. You're all right. We're all here to help and support you. I nearly didn't come because I thought it would go wrong. And sometimes it's very easy to talk yourself into these situations and listen to those spiraling thoughts going, yeah, it's going to be awful, just don't do it. And then listen and go, okay, I'm not doing it. I've had it a little bit with Fred. So I, obviously, as you know, I moved house. I've told you about this a lot. I moved house and I was really scared to take Fred for a walk, which I know sounds really silly, but he is a nervous character and he displays his nervousness in barking. And he's a big dog and he barks and it's a loud bark. And I kind of forget where he is on his journey and that actually he can overcome it now. But I'd kind of got myself into he's not settled. I can't take him out. He's not settled. He's not going to cope with it. I'm not doing it. And so I left it for a couple of weeks. And then I started panicking. I've been talking to my husband. I've been talking to our team about it and saying, I need some of you to come with me. I can't do this by myself. I've actually asked them for help and support and said, would one of you, and Tash agreed because obviously you've seen her on the podcast, we get on quite well. She went, I'll come with you. I'll come too and we'll go together. I will be your buddy because I felt like I needed a buddy. I felt like for his first walk around the estate, I needed someone to hold my hand. Yes, I'm a dog trainer. Yes, I give you all of this wonderful advice, but sometimes I still need to get out of my own head. So in my head, Fred hadn't settled amazingly into the house very quickly. I think it took him, in my view, a good sort of 2-3 weeks to settle into the house. We've been using some Door West Herb products that have definitely helped, and we've just been taking it slow. So for the 3 kind of weeks where we've been in the house, we've been taking him to Secure Field all the time. I haven't taken him for an actual walk because it sounds really silly, I was worried about what the neighbours would think about my dog. Who cares? I care. In the grand scheme of it, who cares? But obviously I've moved into a new house in a new estate. It seems very nice and everyone seems very nice. It's very quiet. And I said, if I take him out and he barks, the neighbours are going to think he's horrible and scary. And he's not, he's just nervous. All the other dog walkers are going to go, what the hell's this reactive dog? I'm going to get an Asbo. He's going to get an Asbo of being that Asbo dog who's really naughty, cross the road to avoid him. Naturally, I wear uniform. Obviously not with him. I do. But obviously I wear a coat. But I don't wear my uniform every single day of the week. But naturally, before work, I'll go out in my hoodie. People start to tie up me with my dog. My van is on my drive, it's lovely and branded. They're then going to look at me and go, what the hell does she know about dog training because her dog's barking? This is how my head's spiralling, okay? So new neighbours will hate us. New dog walking posse of the state will think we've got an Asbo. They'll think I'm a crap dog trainer. They'll all tie it back to my business and think we're terrible. That's where my head's going, which is ridiculous. And I know this is ridiculous. But once you get that thought, it's really hard to get that back out of your head again. So I just put off taking him for a walk. I didn't do it. I brought him up to our field, and a couple of times I've kind of, when he's been getting in the van, done a little bit of a wander through the close. It's a very small close. A little bit of a wandered on the front garden, looked out the road, got him used to kind of just being in the area, and then just gone back in the van. So I've been building up to it slowly. I've not done nothing, but I've been building up to it, getting his confidence in the close and where things are, getting him used to the smells just outside the close. And I had a friend lined up to come and walk him, and then she went, oh, don't forget, it's going to be dark. I was like, oh, Tash, yeah, it's going to be dark. Can't do that day. So I was like, okay, don't worry about it. And we hadn't arranged another day. I wasn't ready to do it. For some reason, my brain said, don't do it. But then last week, I woke up one morning and went, today's the day. I felt ready. I think he'd settled enough. The sun was shining. It was a weekday morning. I didn't have to be anywhere. So I was like, today's the day. So I put my big girl pants on, as they say, and I armed myself with cheese, not just regular treats. He loves cheese, doesn't often get it out and about. I loaded myself up with cheese, and I took him for a walk. I was panicking, thinking, what if? Worrying so much about this event, yet we had the best walk ever. It was lovely. So we literally just had to turn out of my close, walk about 200 yards down the road onto open fields. Didn't see a soul the whole way. Narrow alley, always into that narrow alley. That was a bit worrying the most. I had to walk down a narrow alley for about 25 metres maybe before I got onto open fields. and there's another housing estate, so, you know, bit of a traffic area. Where did Fred decide to poo? In that alleyway. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, really? Now? Do we have to do it now? So I'm like, I'm in this thing. If someone comes this way or that way, he's going to kick off. And I'm going to have to bag the poo up really quickly. And we didn't meet anyone. There was no one there. And we went out onto the fields. He was like, oh, this is nice. Lovely sniffs. Didn't see anyone. We went into another field. There was a man and his dog. Fred ignored them completely. Didn't care less. They were following us. He just looked and carried on. Amazing. We had a lovely wander around. I felt really bad. I forgot his long line. So he was on a short lead the whole time. So I felt really guilty about that because he could have had a nice explore. But to be honest, considering he used to pull an awful lot, he didn't pull at all. So that was lovely. That was a really good win. And I felt quite connected actually because we were on a short lead the whole time. We connected and did quite a lot of engagement with each other, which was really nice. Carried on ignoring this man. He then went a different way, carried on walking. And then we had to head back down the alleyway. As we head towards the alleyway, a woman's coming through it with a dog. I was like, oh shit. He ignored the dog, ignored the woman. Just as we got towards the alleyway, a couple walked into the alleyway. And he's a little bit wary of men with hats on. And normally, like years ago, he would have, as a puppy, whoa, 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 whoa. He just literally went, woof, woof, and then carried on sniffing. I was like, who are you? This is amazing. We then entered in the alley. Someone came the other end, but there was a little path I could dive off of. We went down there. Didn't know where we were going because we haven't been that way yet. I was like, I don't know where we're going, Fred. You are not the dog to explore with. I need to know where I'm going and what's ahead of me with you. Rem, we can go anywhere and explore. But we went off. It was fine. It took us back where we needed to go. Great. I have a good sense of direction. And then we had to walk back, however many, like 200 yards down the road back to our house. And then typically there was a dog walking on the other side of the road, or there's a dog walking towards us. I was like, oh dear. Crossed the road. Fred walked directly next to it on the other side of the road, ignored it completely, didn't even bat an eyelid. I was like, who are you? But I got home and went, oh, I did it. What was I worried about? What was I worried about? A, it went brilliantly. He was a superstar. I didn't see anyone. And he's matured enough. And our training has got to a point where I don't have to panic, but I still do. I still do panic and worry about what might happen. But it's so easy. The point is, and I've not done it since. That's just because of time and life and logistics and falling down the stairs. Now I can't hold him if he did pull, so I'm a bit cautious. But if you listen to last week's episode, you'll know I fell down the stairs. There's the context there. And obviously I'm filming these on the same day. FYI, these aren't filmed each week. I do batch them. So I haven't done it since because I fell downstairs and hurt myself. But once I'm all healed, I will be doing it again. There's nothing to worry about. Will I have the anxiety again? Probably, but it'll be much less. My point is, it is so easy for us to forget that our dogs have progressed, or to worry so much about what other people think, to let your own thoughts spiral and get caught up in this negative, I can't do it, my dog won't be able to do it, and just not do it, that we miss out on so much. So what we need is help. So if you are feeling a little bit overwhelmed, like you've lost your confidence, like you need a support network, find one. Find a support network. That can be a family member or a friend coming out with you. Just to be, I find walking with somebody, naturally it doesn't seem as scary. You can chat, that relaxes you and in turn relaxes your dog a little bit. If someone's coming towards you, or if your dog kicks off, they can go ahead. You're going down the alleyway, they can go ahead and say, oh, it's clear, don't worry about it. You feel more relaxed. Safety in numbers, again. That safety in numbers thing is really important. You can join a local dog training school. You can find people to share walks with. Doing an online training program and having online support, like our one-to-one clients get virtual support all the time. We talk to them every day if they want to, and can coach them through things and help them, give them that boost of confidence. We have walking groups for our members that we go out to all these new places and try new places together, because then you've got that support network. There are places and ways to get that support to help you get out of your negative spiral and to help you just push through and do it. It's just finding that support, but finding ways to overcome that and not get caught up in the what ifs is really important, but equally really hard. So I absolutely understand if you're feeling that way, because I felt that way myself. And you've got to feel ready to do it. There's no point doing it when someone else tells you you're ready. It's got to be when you're ready. And one day, like last week, you just wake up and go, I can do it today. For some reason, today's the day. But it doesn't matter how long it takes. Like, for example, Fred and I, yes, we moved in the house 3.5 weeks before we went for a walk. That's okay. Yeah, we went for a walk from the house. He did not get walked 3.5 weeks. We went out and did other things, but in a safe location to help him decompress. There's nothing wrong with waiting. And actually, I'm really pleased I did wait. I think if I'd rushed it and done it any sooner, his stress levels would have been heightened anyway, and it wouldn't have gone as well. So I'm actually really pleased we waited. I now just need to be brave and do it again. But if you are feeling the same way, there is help and support out there. And if you can't find anywhere local to you and you just want some virtual help, if you're on Facebook, head onto our community group, Potter Paws Dog Training Community, a community of dog owners who are all there to support, chat, answer questions, and just support each other. So there are things out there to help you. Just try not to get stuck in that negative spiral, because I promise you, what's the worst that can happen? You know, as long as you're a responsible dog owner, and as long as you are setting yourself up to go to places that you're going to have a relatively successful time, what's the worst that can happen? So do it. Put your big girl pants on and do it. And obviously, if you need help, let us know. So step out of that comfort zone, because the world is your oyster. Have a wonderful week. We'll catch up with you really soon.
If you love listening to the podcast, why not check out the Potter Paw Academy for practical dog training advice and how-to videos. The hub is broken down into sections, and hundreds of pre-recorded videos are there for you to start watching whenever you choose. You can watch them back as many times as you like. You also get to talk to other community members and discuss your training, and benefit from live Q&As with myself where you can get your questions answered. Why not make use of our 3-day free trial where you can access all of the content on the hub absolutely free for 3 days. The link is in the description below, so do check that out. And I can't wait to see you in the hub. Thank you for listening to The Dynamic Dog Owner with me, Debbie Potter. See you next time.